So Dillian Whyte has stopped Alexander Povetkin in the rematch, so he gets revenge. Before we go into the actual victory, I want to say congratulations to their team. I truly believe that they looked at that fight of Alexander Povetkin and they didn't rest in their laurels and say, we were doing just enough, we were just behind the jab, we were boxing behind the jab, and we won the fight. This fight, Whyte was more aggressive, but there were things that Whyte did in this fight that was very interesting. Things that he didn't do in the first fight. And I think the key to that is Howard the Shadow Knight. His experience at top level. We saw Dillian Whyte when his back was against the ropes, where he was moving his back away from the ropes. We saw when he was cornered by Povetkin, when Povetkin tried to throw the left hook. He was protected. He had a guard there for that. We saw that when he tried to go for the uppercut, he was there for that. Do you understand? The waist, you watch even Dillian Whyte's stance this time, it was on kind of more side on. So you could see there were technical adjustments that Dillian Whyte did. And those technical adjustments and the subtle technical adjustments that were made in this second fight was not there in the first fight. And so had those technical adjustments been there, Howard Shadow Knight been there in the first fight, we might not have been seeing a rematch because, and there were other elements to that fight as well. I don't know if you noticed the right hand down the pipe, the straight right hand. If you remember, Anthony Joshua threw that same straight right hand down the pipe to actually finish Povetkin off. Whyte threw it earlier, and he was catching Povetkin with some great shots. I don't know how Povetkin stood up to some of those shots, and we've got to give him all the credit in the world for it. Now, this is taking nothing away from Dillian Whyte, but Povetkin didn't look right from bell one. He didn't look right. His balance looked all wrong from the first place. And I asked the question, and I will ask the question again. I will keep on asking the question. Fighters that have COVID or reportedly had COVID, what are the effects on fighters that have COVID afterwards? So that's a question that I certainly want to be asking, a question I certainly want to be looking into and looking at fighters who've had COVID, come back, and how their careers have been post-COVID. I don't know. But in terms of punch picking, for the most part, Dillian Whyte was spot on. The overhand right, he landed it a few times, which was very nice. The straight right hand was nice. There was an improvement on that straight right hand. There's still the wild right hand, and he did look, just for moments, defensively vulnerable. But Povetkin couldn't capitalize on it. Whether it's because Povetkin's the age that he is now, and he just can't perform at that level anymore, whether the COVID's got something to do with it, or whether it was the fact that he was getting hit with some bloody big right hands, I don't know. And that's why when I came into doing the preview to this fight, the final, kind of like my final thoughts, there were too many things in the air I didn't know. I didn't know how much Povetkin had left. I didn't know what Whyte's durability and stuff was like, so I didn't know. So I said, may the better man win. And tonight, Povetkin did look old in there, but Dillian Whyte didn't give him a chance. He was peppering him. He came out fast. I thought Povetkin would come out fast, but Dillian Whyte came out even faster, cracked him early with a right hand and hurt him. Everything that Dillian Whyte did to Povetkin is what Povetkin should have done to Dillian Whyte. So fantastic to the team. You could see how the Shadow Knight's influence in the way Dillian fought tonight. As again, the little intricacies where he was fighting off the ropes, the way he was moving away from the ropes, you could see there was a more polished performance. He looked far more experienced and was able to get himself out of danger zones by being defensively responsible and guarded. So shout out to Howard the Shadow Knight and Xavier Miller for that. Povetkin legs look gone, shake my head. Yeah, but again, I asked the question about the COVID. I asked the question before the preview the last preview, I was asking a question about COVID over and over and over again, and we'll see. We'll have to see any more fighters that have had COVID, what their careers are like afterwards. But it doesn't look good at the moment. The reports going back, and the guys that have had COVID, and then their results afterwards haven't been very good. So, you know, and there are probably some fighters as well that may have had COVID but haven't mentioned anything about it, and they've kept it pretty quiet. You understand? So some of these guys have turned up with some dodgy performances. You do wonder if they've had COVID as well, and why they look like they don't have punch resistance, or they don't seem as strong as they used to be. So I don't know, but this COVID is definitely affecting the sport of boxing. I believe so. But again, that's not Whyte's problem. You know what I mean? That's not Whyte's problem. That is Povetkin and his team's problem, and that's their business. Congratulations to Dillian Whyte, once again WBC interim heavyweight champion of the world. Let's just hope now. Obviously, the knockout defeat to Povetkin might be the best thing that ever happened to Dillian Whyte, because Howard the Shadow Knight is there now, and I believe that he's shown Dillian the way to go about his business. And that first performance where he was trying to box like Floyd Mayweather, touch here, touch there, touch here, that's not Dillian Whyte. The second fight he had looked like Dillian Whyte, but it was there were moments where he was a bit reckless. And that's just because Dillian Whyte is that type of guy where he just wants to get involved. But in all that, he's still able to land nice, sharp counters, nice right hands over the top, short left hooks, the uppercut as well. So, yeah, I like what I saw of Dillian Whyte, and long may to continue with him and Howard the Shadow Knight. They're going to be fresher opponents, such as guys like Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder. What he did against Povetkin tonight, will that be enough against the elite heavyweights that are younger, Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz? Even potentially now, could they even have a Luis Ortiz fight? Could Luis Ortiz and Dillian Whyte fight? That would be another old man, but he's a respected old man. Would that fight be potentially for Dillian Whyte? I don't know. But congratulations to Dillian Whyte, and onwards and upwards. So they know how important that win was. Howard the Shadow Knight, Xavier Miller, the whole team know how important that fight was for Dillian Whyte. And Dillian knows it himself. So the result is a great one for them. Congratulations, and onwards and upwards. It looks good as a team effort, and it looks good because you can see the difference in Dillian Whyte. In the short space of time Howard the Shadow Knight's been there, you've seen a difference in Dillian Whyte. You know what I mean? The straight right hand, we use that so well. The jab he used well, but the straight right hand he's throwing down the pipe, a la the way Joshua would throw it. Very nice, very nice. I'm very impressed. Good evening, Denise. Hope that you're well. Just coming to the end of the show, but yeah, congratulations, Dillian Whyte, again, and to Team Whyte. Onwards and upwards. This has been BWTM Sports Gaming, and we are out. Thank you for watching Povetkin versus Whyte 2 post-fight.